And we should now be live. Good evening, everybody. How are we? Do not ask. Dane is playing something with his friends in the background. How are we all doing today? Hello, chat. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Had a chilled weekend. Me and Dane went shopping yesterday for some things for the house and some other things we needed to pick up. A couple of things I've literally been needing for a video I want to do, or some future videos I want to do. You did some first aid training today, Berenson. Is that specifically for something? Like, are you doing a course, or...? Oh, it's just to get your first aid. Yeah, but what I meant, Berenson, is, like, is you getting that first aid license, like, part of something else? Like, is it you need the license to then go and do something else, or get another course or something? I saw Goat yesterday. Oh, that new thing. Okay, then. Hello, Nicholas, and hello, Basti. So, I'm going to get going. So, last stream, what we were doing was setting up this Diplodocus habitat, or what was the raptor and Diplodocus habitat, which we have now turned into just the Diplodocus habitat. And last stream we were getting like the majorly important bits in, like the transport, the rest of the park, and the fencing, and just sort of doing the basics of the decorations. Now off stream, I made this. This is our lovely little unique sort of viewing area, similar to the one I built for the Loki Ceratops, but here is our DIPPY display building. Has a fake interior, as you can see. I struggled to come up with a name, but I put DIPPY display because I thought that was as good as I could come up with. And if I actually put it into the dark, you can see. So in night time, we have nice little night vision binoculars up here, so people can see out, and also nice light blue lighting up here. And then this is all nicely lit inside as well, so that's how it looks in the dark. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It took a while, about 2 days. Mostly because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't get like a neat semicircular shape. So in the end I just went for a more simple shape. What I've also done is I've put a nice little simple sign up here. Diplodocus Creek. And yeah, we're just going to get started with today's stream, which is to finish this enclosure. I want to like put in the display rocks, put in the enrichment items we made on Friday, put in placeable trees, some more Diplodocus, because I think 2 really is not enough. And yeah, we'll then see how it goes. So the first thing I want to do is get some more dippies, because 2 is not enough. So where is Das Hatchery? There it is. So that would create another 2. So that would be 4. I think 6. Well, we'll have to come back and get the other 2. I think 6 for this area. It's pretty big. And these guys aren't particularly large sauropods. I mean, they're relatively small by the game standards, so... Yeah, I think 6 would be sufficient. These two will stay here. The other 4 will go around here. Right, I want to put some rocks down in the ground here. Maybe not those. Maybe not those. One more. Yeah, reasonably happy with that. So what has everyone been up to today? I know Berenson has been doing his first aid course, but what has everyone else been up to? Let's get these incubating. Just living and breathing. Yeah. I mean, I think these days that's good enough. Like, sometimes just living and breathing is perfectly sufficient. I'm going to assume chat's going to be relatively quiet while Evo is still online. As is the way it goes. Sure. Do I have any predictions? I actually do, but based off the last film, I predict that this film will try to retcon certain elements of what we were told in Rebirth in order so that this movie can actually happen. I suspect there will be some severe retconning going on of various parts of the story so that the film can even occur. Which I guess you could argue is a bad thing. I'm more of the opinion that maybe something should be retconned if it deserves it. And I certainly think Rebirth deserves to be retconned. Not entirely, because I think that's unfair. But, considerably. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the retcons will also not make very much sense. Like, I suspect that the way they'll retcon it is in a really, like, ham-fisted kind of... I almost want to say cheap way, but that's probably not what I mean. It'll just be done in a really boring, ham-fisted, bad way. That will probably make very little sense. And... yeah. Probably be overall just bad for the franchise. Let me guess. It's the Nodosaurus paddock. I'm actually going to place down some nests because I want to make sure that these guys are creating new baby dinosaurs. Where will we be putting the nest for this guy? I think at the back. Universal, we're making a Jurassic World 5. Fletcher, help me, I'm scared. And, look, I will be exceedingly blunt and honest with you right now. I don't care. For me, the Jurassic World film franchise is dead. Rebirth killed it. I have absolutely no interest in the movies anymore. Even if this one turned out to be good, I wouldn't care. I'm not paying any more money anymore to go and watch them in the cinema. And I'm almost to a point where I can't even be asked to pirate them to watch them because they're rubbish. They've been rubbish for years, and I'm more or less done with the franchise. And that's not necessarily a problem. I think as you get older, especially, I think it's quite fair that you really, you get into some franchises and then you lose interest in others. It happens. But for me, I just don't have any interest in Jurassic anymore. What's going on here? See, people said that these guys can cross water, but these guys have stubbornly refused to cross water. Like, they will not cross. And these guys seemingly want to. What's going on with these Diplodocus? Is it something to do with this? Is this just too steep for us? Because there's literally food there. They are literally walking away from food. Just want to make sure these guys are going to die. Okay, so yes, they will walking deep water. But for some reason, these ones over here just don't want to move. Also, I can't believe we're almost into nighttime already. The way... I swear that nighttime lasts twice as long as daytime in this game. What's just died? We have a dead Struthi. That's not a biggie. Right, this side of the... Oh. Okay, so we need to put in some more rocks along this. And let's give them some more of these cycads. Nice and lush. So, where are you going? Let's go get those other dippies. Why is so much broken? Honestly, I miss the old storm defense building. I really do. Right, I think we need some vegetation. Look at the change of the LOD on them. That's outrageous. You know what isn't helping? Um, I've noticed this when you're just trying to place stuff down, the contour lines really are a nuisance, especially in the dark. You just can't see what you're doing. What is this stuff? Bramble. Oh, I'll have to remember that. It's quite good at coverage. Want to make sure there's a nice mix of vegetation around. I just got a did from somebody. I'll have to look at that later. I'm busy right now. Oh, hello, Wandering Rambler. Oh, that's what it was, the 5th generation of dinosaurs. Oh. Goes to show you how often I do not have breeding on. The fact I hadn't got that. I'm doing okay, yeah. I'm just, I have had a chilled weekend. How about yourself, Wandering Rambler? I can't see anything in the dark. You have to wait until it's light again. You know what bugs me? Is that no one on Frontier has considered this. Like, they've created a game which is really heavily reliant on you being able to place things down wherever you like. And then they've made it impossible for you to see in the dark. City Skylines, when you're in the dark, it just has a little, like, flashlight circle of light around where your cursor is at all times. So that you can see what you're doing. Such a small fucking thing. I think that's what bugs me the most about this game, is that there's so many stupid little decisions that they've made, seemingly because everyone's so because people were short-sighted and didn't think about something. Where are our sauropods? So all of the sauropods have decided to cross the lake and are now on the wrong side of the river. We do, however, have baby dippies. I am going to surround this nest with the Ginkgo. But I'm going to put Ginkgo all the way along here. Replace all of that with the Ginkgo. Hopefully the Ginkgo kind of convinces them to come and... come down here. Also, am I the only one that's really annoyed that we don't have access to the paleo vegetation in the modular building system? Like, we can't place down, like, ginkgos or anything? I don't understand why. Anyone played Hades? Well, funnily enough, that was a game that is going to be coming back to the channel. Dane started Triclaw Gaming with me playing Hades, but at the time we were quite, you know, just starting out, and even though it was Game of the Year, no one was very much interested, but we're going to be bringing it back. Either the first game and the second game, or just the second game, or just the first game. We haven't quite made up our minds yet, but it will be coming back to the channel. But yes, I have seen... Dane has played the heck out of Hades quite a bit. I think it's a very artistic game. I love it. I think it's a very cool game. At last we have some daylight. So I can carry on. Trying to create a healthy range of vegetation, given that there's quite a lot of different types of vegetation even just on this map. That's stupid. I think we got like maybe just the one. It looks a bit more lush, doesn't it? Wait, where was that bloody big tree? Oh no, another dead dinosaur. I'm so sad. Really, I'm devastated. In all seriousness, though, like, did they honestly expect us to get attached to these things? Like, they put absolutely no work into improving them whatsoever. I've been going through like my old videos, ego surfing, I suppose you could say, but more like just going over my old like thoughts about various things, and I kind of think that I was too kind in my score to this game. Like, I went back and watched the whole review, and then I was like, you know, I think that might be being too kind. You know, the score of 7 out of 10, I am not sure I agree with that anymore. Having spent a lot longer playing the game, and obviously, you know, have we had that first DLC and everything else, I'm now actually not 100% convinced of the score I gave it. See, 6 out of 10... I don't think I would give it a 6 out of 10 either. Five and a half. Because, like, what at the moment, I'm kind of like halfway through writing my script for the video I want to do, where I'm like talking about 2 Point Museum and comparing it to this game. And I would go as far as to say that 2 Point Museum is like a... not a 10 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5. Maybe a 9 on a good day. But then that makes you kind of think about all the other games like Evolution 3 in retrospect. And I honestly don't think this game earns much higher of a score than the second game. When you see shit like that, I mean, look at the LOD of that. That's a bit more verdant, isn't it? Bit more vibrant, bit nicer looking. Good grief, the Diplodocus have gone nuts. You guys are supposed to be using all of this part bloody enclosure. Why are you only over there? So which of these dinosaurs you think you can defeat with a spear and a shield? None of them. Absolutely none of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure that all of those dinosaurs would probably outrun me. So I don't think I could defeat any of them with a sword and a shield, with a spear and a shield. Now stay where I put you, you goddamn. Just cross the river. You've got plenty of... Wrong brush. You've got plenty of water. Oh no, they go running back. What? Okay, that's a new one I haven't seen before. I don't think I want to put too many rocks down in here. I want it to be relatively open for them. You know, I'm close to saying this is almost done. About the only thing I want to do is put some more of those delightful orange and red trees here and there, just to take the edge of that lurid green. Rocky areas a bit. What was that plant type we were using? Bramble. Hmm. Oh, we've got another storm, so that means everything is going to be broken again. Isn't it? Although saying that, I don't think the game has realized that there is a storm. Is it a proper storm or is it just a light storm? I think it's just a light one. Have you checked for obstructions? Basti, I don't see what could be obstructing this. Like, literally. Where is... Which one is it? This one? Look. There are no obstructions. Hang on. What's that? Why is it... Oh. Hang on a minute. Okay. Let's have a look at this again. Yeah, look, there are no obstructions. It's a big dinosaur, no obstructions. You see? There is. There is plenty of space. Everything's gone dark again, so I can't see what I'm doing. Yes, it's because of dumb dinosaur AI that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I think this is looking pretty good. I don't think there's much more left to do here. I want to leave quite a lot of this rock quite barren up here. I mean, the only places where I might stick some more vegetation is sort of around at this end. But most of the rest of it I want to kind of leave as is. So I think the Diplodocus... Oh, we do need, however, to put in our enrichment items. So, first one is our little salt lick. Where shall that go? I feel like putting it over here. There's a salt lick over there, and we'll put one. We'll keep it to the one, actually. The sauropod shower. Honestly, I'm not sure we have room for this. It's pretty flippin' big. I don't think these guys need it, actually. I mean, this was made more with Brachiosaurus and stuff in mind, so I don't think these guys need that one. The old gastrolith provider. One there, and one over there. The scratching post. Definitely put over by these trees. I think that's a very good natural place for it. If it was flat ground, so maybe over here instead. Maybe I'll nestle one in here as well. And the combined special vegetation gastrolith feeder. Maybe we can just put over... put it over here, maybe. Obviously, it doesn't really matter where it is because they don't use the damn thing anyway, but what is up with you? You're having a fight. Maybe you should go... I think you should leave. Okay. Yeah, we've given them some enrichment items. They've got some deep water. They've got plenty of space, I think, so I'm reasonably happy with that. Hi and bye, Navi. The D-Rex deserves to be made fun out of. It's stupid. Right. So with the D-Rex habitat finished, this area down here is like basically... It just needs like environmental stuff, so it's not as important to me. So basically it's stuff I can do off stream. So really what we need to do now is like think about this part of the park. Now this side this side I definitely struggle with. I went with a completely different style, so all the Jurassic Park buildings will have to come out. But this Dilophosaurus enclosure is going to stay, but it needs complete redesigning. It needs complete rebuilding. So... I mean, I think this whole area down here needs redoing, to be honest. So, time 2... Oh, I can't turn it off, but probably if I just demolish everything... I am going to leave the maintenance vehicle there, because I suspect we will need it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be advised that our weather forecasts predict an incoming sandstorm.
This path needs to actually stay. Balloon tour ride.
Our weather forecast has been updated.
It's demolished. I honestly don't know if I want to have a balloon ride here because we can't make it Din style, and I think it just stands out way too much. I'm gonna have to wait again. I love the fact that even with storm defense mode on, these power stations still shut down. I have to create like a battery of emergency power, emergency generators somewhere. This is one of the most annoying and aggravating parts of this game, is that it puts up so many like hurdles for you. And they aren't interesting hurdles, that's the problem. Like, you can't do bugger all about these sandstorms. You literally have no way of reducing their effects at all. It's just the game going, we're gonna stop you from doing anything for the next 5 minutes. Just so that we can have some artificially induced dinosaur-related chaos, because that's all the films want to talk about. Struthy has died. Right. Now the bloody storm is gone. So, the Dilophosaurus habitat. We do need to do is grab a chopper, get the Dilophosaurus out of this. No worries, Cozy. What's for dinner? And I'm at the moment just about to get started with the Dilophosaurus habitat. Since the Diplodocus one is all done and finished. There we go. Probably going to have to adjust the quarantine pen. Because they're going to need something that runs to eat instead. So yeah, we want to completely redesign. Well, not completely redesign it. I'm more or less happy with it. But I do want to provide some alternative viewing for them and change the fence, because this fence is completely improper for Dilophosaurus. You have pesto pasta. Like, me and Dane actually just had some like plain, just buttered and peppered pasta last night, because we were still quite full from Asian ramen when we were out doing some shopping. Okay, quality problems. Yeah, the adult females will be back. Come along. Okay, so they want a bit more cover. They want a bit more wetland. They want a bit more water. They only have 12% pasture.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Diplodocus to the park.
They want more colour. They want more prey. Why do they want... Like, this is the habitat they had originally, and apparently that was fine. But this is apparently not good enough. Okay, but you guys, those guys are happy enough as they are. It's weird, like, in here they were happy. In here they were not happy when they have more space in there. That just doesn't make much sense to me. Right.
Attention personnel. We have detected power outages across the site. Available personnel, please respond.
We also have the now empty Suchomimus habitat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Struthiomimus to the park.
I need to do something about the Suchomimus habitat. That's for sure. This was appalling. Like, I just shoved them both in there just to 5-star this place. But let's get let's do the Dilophosaurus. So let's just delete everything. Now what's died? Another Loki. Let's get rid of all the vegetation. Let's just take this back, basically, and see what we're working with. Okay. So, what do we want to do with this? Because this area, so this area down here, we're going to put some rocks here, seal this off, and this will only be accessible from up here. And that's where we're going to put the, or some staff buildings or something like that. Maybe the staff center, which is at the moment down here. I want to get rid of it from here. Just because that's a very ugly place to put it. And I will probably put it over here. I do also want to provide like a viewing dome, perhaps, for the Dilos. I think a dome would work quite nicely. I want to try and keep the animals the same as what they originally had in there. Although I might replace the Suchomimus with Irritator. Okay, so the habitat kind of goes uphill. These two viewing galleries, I'm kind of going to get rid of. And these rather crudely placed rocks we'll get rid of. This gate we'll get rid of. Because it's a terrible gate. Okay, so... I think given how dangerous the dinos are... I kind of want to have their paddock access down here where the staff area is going to be. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like a ramp that goes up this side, up along a flat bit up here, and then goes down into the enclosure. And then you have a gate here, which we can then rock in, and put rocks down here as well. And so kind of like have yeah, I think that'll be interesting. I think the AI won't appreciate it and will have difficulty doing what I want them to, but that's the plan. Let's get the levels of this figured out. Okay. I don't think they need much more than that to drive up and down. Dinos aren't dangerous, you can just choke them, like what... You know the problem with this dynamic ramp tool is how are you supposed to tell where the ramp is going? That's nowhere near the height I wanted it to be. That's better, but still pretty shit if you ask me. I think the ramp tool is really bad. I cannot get it to do what I want it to do. It just isn't what those lovely YouTube videos made it look like. It just isn't that easy. Like the waterfall tool, it just isn't as easy as they made it look. Like the number of times I'm basically having to still do the ramps myself because it's the only way to get it to do what I want it to. Not that. But that's a little nicer. See, you have to kind of like half do it. And then if you like go over it with the dynamic ramp tool, then it like has a better chance of doing it properly. But it's still, you know, bloody awkward. Is the word I would use. Okay. That's not rock. Cliff? There we go. Where's that cliff? Hang on a minute. What paint is this then? Hang on. What? If that's rock, and that's cliff, That's groundwater. We don't actually have the terrain paint that is that. Okay, that's kind of odd. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because we'll be putting bloody big rocks and stones over here anyway, but just wanted to get a gist. So there's the ramp up, and then you come around here. And then let's put the gate in now. So what we want is a classic gate, and we want a classic double gate.
Personnel, we have detected power outages across the site. Available personnel, please respond.
And we're gonna combine them with some of that. And then we'll rock this in, so there'll be rocks either side, and then from here there'll be rocks around here, and then we need to give them a route down. And I think the easiest way of doing that is to just like pretend we were building a path up here, and then be just like, oh, okay, that is apparently I mean, it kind of did what I wanted it to do. We just smoothened it out a bit. Yeah, that basically did what I wanted it to do. Funny that. So there might be a lesson for you. If you're having trouble getting your ramps to look good, just do it with path instead. The classic Jurassic Park collection of games will be leaving digital stores March 31st. Oh. Yeah, but funnily enough, I don't really have much of a nostalgia for the classic Jurassic Park games, because I never really played any of them. The only classic one I had any nostalgia for was one on the Game Boy Advance, which I'm pretty sure is not part of that collection, so... Going to have to be careful here, because I don't want to deny them access.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Lokiceratops to the park.
We have a new baby Lokiceratops. Trying to make these guys look natural is really quite tricky. What are you... Just going to ignore what they did. I don't like games being limited by license sales. Well, unfortunately, that's not really Steam's fault or anything. That is a fact of the brand-led capitalist society we are in. Unfortunately, companies like Universal, Paramount, and that doggedly protect their licenses, mostly at the detriment of the people that they want to extort money off of, strangely enough. Okay. I think I want to do a little something with these. We need to rock in all of this. We need to make sure we need to make sure that the dilos will not escape. What's your problem? No, you're just expecting it. Come on. No, this guy is having a lot of trouble. Oh, okay. Oh my. What's happened? Oh, there we go. Get down. You're fine. Hey, look at that. The ramp even works. Right. Now, if I let it place the rocks it wants to place down, will it actually place rocks down? It decided it kind of wanted to place rocks down. But it doesn't want to put trees on ramps. Still. So I think what we'll do is we'll do it all ourselves. Because I'm not satisfied with how that looks. Plus, I'm not convinced it has to be that big, to be honest. Maybe I can... I think we'll slice into this a bit. Just to give the dilos a little bit more space. The only hard part about the games is deciding which one to get. It's not being talked about enough. No, but then I would say that is again kind of one of those elements about video games in general that I think really so often there are some really amazing titles out there and they just get basically no attention because they're not, you know, big money hungry hideous AAA monstrosities, and they get kind of ignored, like 2 Point Museum, like got basically no like attention at all, even though it's one of the best games that came out last year. Meanwhile, this game, which, let's be honest, is in many respects way too similar to Jurassic World Evolution 2, in all the wrong ways, got a lot more attention. That, I don't think it necessarily deserved. I have an idea for that plinth there. I'm just, what's died now? Oh, one of the Proceratosaurus have died of old age. Really? They haven't been in the park very long. He died 24 years before he was supposed to. Well, I say 24 years. I'm 24 of whatever weird timescale this game uses. It still really bugs me. We cannot put trees down unless the area is totally flat. Like, for God's sake, let me put trees in places. Just gonna put some artificial flat bits in here. Just to try and get some more trees in. Nope, that's all it'll do. That's all it'll do. Right. I need to adjust the placement of these rocks slightly. There we go. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with how that looks. Right, let's get rid of this thing. So we know roughly where the enclosure is going to go. Do I want to have a viewing gallery here? I don't think so. I don't think so. How narrow of a gully can we make? That might be too much. Might be too deep. I think that's deep enough. What the? Time being assist. Oh, I just accidentally changed the terrain height without meaning to. I don't know whether I want a gully here or not. I'm in the process of just seeing what it looks like with one. See, I think that's too much. Line it with concrete and then... You should, Berenson, because I really enjoy it. I like to say, I think it definitely was deserving of Game of the Year last year. Do I have... something to line this with? No, that's not quite the right thing. What really is that? Which do we need to end that? Oh, this may take some time. This is one of the problems with like the pieces they've given us is we don't really have the pieces to do like curves very easily. So we're always going to end up with kind of half-assed looking stuff like this. Honestly, I just kind of wish that they would just give us a terrain brush, which is literally just concrete. Like, to allow us to paint concrete onto surfaces. That would be my preferred way of doing it. To be honest, I might still just do it with a piece of path. That's probably, I would guess, another Proceratosaurus. Hello, Luna. I'm thinking of only putting concrete on this side because I don't think it. I don't think it needs it on the other side. I'm thinking on the other side I'll just put rocks. But I'm reasonably happy with how that looks. Not the sandstorm threat level. Oh no. What are we gonna do? Wait for it to pass and tell it to bugger off. Need to give that. Yeah, I think that actually looks quite good. And then on the other side, we'll just put rocks down there. Like on the other side. We'll just put some rock formation in, and then we'll put like, I don't even think we will need a fence. I think we'll put a fence on the yes side. But not a huge one, because I don't think it's really needed. Maybe just a fence. Oh, of course.
Detected power outages across the site. Available personnel, please respond.
Dilos stay where the dilos are put. And it was one of the other Proceratosaurs that died. Okay, is this all flat? No, it is not. I really don't like how it does that sometimes. It's just like, oh, I'm going to put a slope at the bottom of this. No, I don't want you to. I just want you to put a bloody... See, like it's doing there. Okay, that'll have to do. Rock time. Are you going to put a fence between the gap and the path? Yes, there will be a fence. I literally just said that. But I will put a... There will be a short fence. That's... That's it. That's too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sandstorm has now passed. Please resume your normal activities.
Why is that so much higher than the rest of the... Oh. Yeah, at this end it doesn't matter. This is the tour end. It doesn't matter. From here... it needs to be... quite short. Not too close to the dilo enclosure. Again, it's all a matter of like scale, because you think the humans in this game are actually bigger than they actually are, because everything else is so massive in comparison. Come on, I just want like flat stones. For God's sake. Fucking do it myself. Excuse my French. Why can't they just give us one like that? Here's a flat vertical stone. You know what bugs me is that if this was Prehistoric Kingdom, I know the exact stone I would use to do this, and it would probably take less pieces. Why is this arbitrarily going on? Ah, finally. Right. We're going to stick a bloody big chunk of rock at the end. There we go. This could be a little problematic. I would argue that is kind of within jumping distance. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I actually think all of these need to be lowered ever so slightly. For some reason down here it's stuck. I don't think we need to do anything down here. Maybe we'll just like fill it with sand. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right. Let's give ourselves some room to work with. Right, so we want the guest path to run around the edge of the dilo enclosure. I'm not going to give them a viewing gallery or anything like that. We're going to stick with like the viewing dome that's going to be in the middle here. But we will have like artificial viewing. Maybe we'll have like some artificial platforms or something that'll look over the edge into there. Now, what's going on here? That path is too close. That's the reason why. Okay. So I think the path should be kind of like that. And then what we'll have is like some artificial, we'll have some like viewing platforms or towers around the edge. Or viewing platform. Do we put them in? We don't have a din one. Or rather, we don't have a din one I like yet. And I'm going to use this lovely one, which was in my best viewing towers video that I did a few weeks ago. Okay, why did you just... We'll put... I don't want this to be like too clogged up with stuff. We'll put like this one tower here. And it doesn't really suit the style we're going for. But what about one of the dim ones? This guy's din one might actually work a little better. So let's put him in then instead. It's not a bad version. But one of the things I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks is building my own din viewing tower, but I want to do it as a video. So build it in a video. The Lagoon Dome glitch. No, I'm going to stick to the normal viewing dome. I actually kind of like the fact that it's on the ground, because that works a lot better. Given the size of the Dilophosaurus. Yeah, but this one will do for now. Although, if I remember correctly, there is some really obvious there's some very obvious like mistakes, but I cannot grab hold of them. Okay, that one I can. Did the same on this side too. Again, I guess he couldn't move it after the fact because he put those dirt marks there. I really don't like people like putting artificial dirt marks on their buildings. I know it might make them look more realistic. I just think it's a waste of piece count. At a distance, no one's gonna notice. But yeah, we'll stick to that one din tower there. And then... this will be like the fact that a game like this still has like building constraints. So fucking stupid. Right, and then we'll put the rest of the path. So we'll put the path back in. Obviously, that'll be neatened up a bit, but that'll be the rough path of in a minute. Me and the terrain tools are gonna have a falling out. There'll be a falling out along the lines of, why did you make a modular building game with the worst terrain tools imaginable? Frontier. Like, seriously. In Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster, you literally have a tool that makes squares in the ground. Why didn't you provide us that tool? Because we're dumb. We only think about attracting Planet Zoo builders. Because we didn't really think about putting modular building in the game beyond let's just have modular building. Because we're desperate for more money, and the only way we think we can get more money is to desperately try and court the Planet Zoo crowd. Anyway. Why did it not put any plants down? They're supposed to put grass down there. No, you want to put rocks down there instead. So the one time I don't want you to put rocks down, you have decided to put rocks down. Fine. Stupid terrain tools for the win, I guess. I really don't like how uneven this all is, but it's almost impossible to get it correct because of how these damn terrain tools work. They don't work correctly. If you want anything, if you want to design anything with any finesse, you simply can't do it with these terrain tools and this annoying system that they've created for this game. Because look, I shouldn't have these stupid gaps here, but then I shouldn't have to deal with this poxy uneven bit at the bottom either. It's so aggravating that I can't get it looking the way I want to, and it's the terrain tool's fault. Ugh. just the sand up to the edge of the fucking thing. That's all I want you to do. But because it's just a little too thin, and because the terrain tool doesn't have a thinner option than enormous, that's probably the best I'm going to get it. Yeah, I guess I could try to force it with flattening pieces. But I just don't like the terrain system they use in these games. I don't understand why we still don't have Planet Zoo's system. It's always one step forward, 10 backwards with this company. Oh, we'll give you modular building, but we won't change the game at all to make modular building work for the game. We'll just blindly and aimlessly introduce modular building and just expect the game to work with it without making any alterations. Anyway, Anyway, we need a fence. Oh, one of the dinos has died. Right, we need a fence that's not too high, but is still reasonably protective. Do we have to think about making it anti-dilo proof though? Do we think if a Dilophosaurus was really determined, they could spit over that gap? Risk assessment says you have to assume the worst case scenario, so we are going to do exactly that. We are going to assume the worst case scenario of a Dilo somehow manages, after watching the Olympics or something, to spit the furthest distance any living creature has ever spanned. We're going to use
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Nodosaurus to the park.
another little baby tank. I tell you what, I have not been disappointed with the Nodosaurus, just like in Evolution 2. Nodosaurus, he's my boy. I've got fucking tons of the damn things in there. Paddock gives me a good score. Why is the terrain... Oh, has the game done that weird thing where it's like, actually, it's slightly taller than the rest of the land? Well, we're not going to tell. It's because it's wanting to put in its... Can you see that? Ay. Carrying on. How did that Dilo die? Old age. All the Dilos are pretty old by this point. Especially given none of them were breeding before I moved them, so the dino herd might be in need of a little refreshing after moving them into their new habitat. Incidentally, I think this height of fencing would probably be enough for... Blimey, we've still got quite a way to go. For a dilo habitat, if you were literally having it up to the wall. I think that height of fence would be fine. No, go away. That's asking for a lot more than I thought. Owen Grady choked him. Yeah. The less said about that scene, the better in my eyes. I actually think it was kind of unnecessary. It's like, let's have a scene where Owen Grady chokes the Dilophosaurus. Like, why? Do you want to sponsor animal cruelty, Universal? Is that what you want to do? You want to show people someone strangling an animal, probably to death, or at least causing it serious injury? Is that what you're wanting to kind of advertise there, Universal? I know, it's not a normal circumstance, and he was, saving deer. I can run in high heels but can't run away from a Dilophosaurus and decide to sit there for ages watching it slowly walk up to me until it tries to splash me with acid Claire Deering. But come on. Like, you don't need to strangle an animal in that way. There were lots of other ways that Claire and Owen, Claire and what's her name, could have saved her in that situation that didn't result in putting animal cruelty on screen in such a way. Okay, Igor, thank you for popping in. I'm sorry if I was boring. Okay, so yeah, we don't need an extra fence in there, but I suppose what's worth checking is how the game considers that. So actually, we can get about, and the dinosaurs are almost. Dinosaurs cannot get out of here, so it works. This is a good thing. I kind of want to get this whole area figured out. So I feel like I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the this habitat, because this did not prove big enough for the Suchomimus. They were very displeased with this habitat, so I think I'm just going to get rid of it. And I'll draw one in for later. Like, what I'm thinking, have we got like a really dark tool? Probably the groundwater one. So we'll kind of make that the aquatic enclosure / Suchomimus enclosure. But even that might not be enough room. I think honestly it'd have to go up to about there. Roughly draw in where I want stuff to be. Okay, so that's where the Suchos will be. And then I'm quite happy with how we've got a little bit up here for the Noddos, and this is another view of the Dippies. And look at that, they're actually Diplodocus. Ah. Is le problème. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how this little bit up here was. And then what we will eventually do is, like, once everything else is kind of a bit more built up, down here we will have a proper raptor enclosure. Since we have the space to build one without them kicking up a fuss. Okay, so Dilo habitat. What have we got? We got gently sloping. Gently sloping. Okay, so let's actually make this not gently sloping. Let's actually make that cliff. Let's actually put cliff over here as well. Why is that water brush so big? Give them... Can dinos cross water? What are dinos even classified as animal? Small carnivore. Okay, yeah. So small carnivore can cross over there. So we can keep the water like here. I'm going to make this a little bit more of a narrow river though, because I don't think they need too much. He says, putting it all back in again. There you go. I mean, I would love to have like an artificial waterfall or something at this end, but because we don't have like water bricks and placeable effects, we can't really do something like that. Another dead dino. It's the Dilo. I think our entire like pack of Dilophosaurus are going to be dead before their enclosure is finished at this rate. Is that another dead Dilo? No, it's a dead Nodosaurus this time. Okay, where do we put Das viewing dome? Probably... I don't want to put it at the back. I think we should leave the back for like nesting and stuff. So I think... yeah. I feel like I need to make a din. Actually, I feel like I need to make a din viewing dome before I put one in here. But I do think we need to give them like a rock arch or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome dinosaurs to the park.
That is too big. That is just too small. Nothing could ever live in that. That's kind of better. Now, Dilo's like a lot of wetland. So, I'm thinking, make sure there's plenty around. Oh. Really? You will not put... Hey. Just put normal groundwater in there. You let me do that? Yes. I will. I'll make my own fudging wetland. I'll just stick a few rocks and bushes in. It'll look fine. And then I think the rest is going to have to be pasture in order to satisfy their pasture needs. However, it is 11 o'clock. Yes, D&D is not on today, Branson. Don't worry. I would have stopped if there was, but no, D&D isn't on today. Oh, we got I think we got a fair amount done. We finished off the lovely Dilophosaurus enclosure. Oh, I forgot to give them a ranger post. But yeah, we finished off the lovely ranger enclosure, and we've started to redevelop the south end of the park. So yeah, we're steadily making progress. We're slowly but surely getting this place beautified, getting the major stuff worked on before tackling the other bits and bobs. Next week, I'm probably going to give Jurassic World Evolution 3 a break, because I'm probably going to be spending next week doing a lot of like off-stream work. So Friday I will probably carry on with Dino Crisis, and then Sunday I think we'll play some 2 Point Museum, I think. Or perhaps something else, maybe the Isle instead, actually, next Sunday. It's been a while. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like the stream, do all the usual YouTuber stuff. I'm not going to bother you with that. You know what to do. And I will see you guys next week. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Stay safe, and good night.